This is my winning wholesale formula. And you don't always need to only source products that fit these criteria, but this is a great gauge of sorts to source great wholesale products. I want you to think of it as a good checklist and a good rule of thumb to look for. But like I said, you don't always only need to source products like this, okay? So my ideal wholesale product is at least selling 30 units per month on Amazon, or 1 unit per day. When you use Jungle Scout, it's either going to tell you the daily or the monthly units, right? So 30 a month or one a day. It's also netting me $4 plus profit per unit, and that's after Amazon fees and after shipping into FBA fees, okay? That is if you're, getting it shipped to you to do a product inspection initially, or if you're having your wholesale supplier ship it in directly to FBA, okay? Now, if there is a certain circumstance where I do actually, source less than potentially $4 profit per unit, but usually 95% plus of the time, probably even more, it's $4 plus profit per unit, most of the time, right? The only time that I might, adjust this is if it's 30% gross margin on a product that is really, really cheap and still very, very profitable with a good ROI. For example, right? Like let's say, and this happens a lot with like cheap toys that I've seen. For example, like if a profit is less than $4 profit, then obviously it's outside of these key performance indicators that you're looking for with this wholesale formula, right? But let's say it's $3 profit, which is obviously below the $4 profit threshold, but it only costs you $2 to source it and you're making $3 profit. Well, that's still a great buy if it's profitable and it's selling a lot, right? So that ROI is ridiculously great. It doesn't cost you a lot to source it. And probably if that listing is selling a lot of units, you can re-up your money and really kind of multiply your money really quickly, right? So take these criteria, the two main criteria that I just read to you, with a grain of salt and use them as indicators of a good potential wholesale product. Remember, at least 30 units per month or one a day, and netting at least $4 profit per unit after Amazon fees and after shipping into FBA, okay? But that second one can fluctuate slightly in specific circumstances, okay? And the last thing that I look for specifically with wholesale is Amazon is not on the listing, right? So my ideal wholesale product does not have Amazon on the listing. And that basically means like it's only, usually people ask me this and I'm like, you can sell books against Amazon. You can sometimes sell retail products against Amazon. You can even sell liquidation every once in a while against Amazon because they will share the buy box. But they'll only share the buy box with you about 10 to 20% of the time. It's speculated about 10 to 20% of the time. And so I usually try to stay away from wholesale listings where Amazon is on the actual listing. The reason being is usually you have a lot more inventory with wholesale. And on top of that, the most important thing is you might sell them and they might share the sales with you, but it might take longer than anticipated than it would against other third-party sellers, right? And so that's going to tie up a lot of your cash flow, which is a big part of scaling wholesale. So that's why I recommend avoiding that if possible. But this is my wholesale winning formula. Keep it in mind. Like I said, use it as, potential criteria, but don't use it as like the gospel.